Maybe there is nothing but fiction and property holding the self together through time.
The mistakes we made only multiply. They are all we have, and they lead us to each other. Our mistakes are us, you and me. But we are going to hurt each other. There's nothing we can do to stop that. It's one of the few things we will regret while we breathe.
I am Cleopatra, the last pharaoh of ancient Egypt.
Oh yes, I remember you. You're the beginning and end of all time. You are always present at the end of an era. Do you remember me? Vaslav Nijinsky, the choreographer and dancer from the 20th century. I was placed in a mental asylum in 1919 for schizophrenia.
Yeah, I remember you. You actually showed me how to time travel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we went for a walk up a hill and there was snow everywhere. And was there not somebody else there? Do you remember?
Oh, yes, there was that French person. What was their name?
Something, well?
Or Tell?
No, maybe spell.
Mel?
Or hell?
Smell? Gel? No, Bel!
Yeah, right. Jérôme Bel.
Oh, yeah, that's me, Jérôme Bel. I'm known as a French choreographer from the 21st century. I created sustainable concepts and performed my works in places like Hellerau. And maybe a few people know me as a character played by Charles A. Washington.
Yeah, you were there, and you were saying something about mother. What were you saying again?
That's right, I was talking about the post-capitalists and how they have so much love for their mother. I find it so curious. Where did this love come from and how was this love created? And I was telling you that I went through time to find some answers, and I found one moment in our past. A father and a child are together. The father is looking in the mirror, putting mascara on. He turns to the child with a mascara brush in one hand and something blue and velvet in the other hand. The child asks, "What is that, father?" The father says, "It is a wand. And with this wand, if you wave it in the air and make a wish, your wish will come true." The child asks, "But father, what is a wish?" In which the father explains, if there is something in this world that you want more than anything, but you do not know how to get it, you can wish for it. The father gave the wand to the child. The child waved the wand in the air and wished for mother. At that moment, desire was born. And the father turned back to look in the mirror. Do you remember that time?
What time?
Time we were at your home?
Which one?
The one in 100 years from now.
Yeah, I remember. In 2124.
Right. And you asked me that question. Remember what that question was?
Yeah, right. I was in the kitchen.
Yeah, you were in the kitchen. I
post-capitalist, I said.
But why do you find that so interesting?
I love the way it ends. I love the moment the post-capitalists realize that anything always needs something to do. And they think, what happens if anything has done everything? Will something be left with nothing? And at that moment, passages on the labyrinth walls start to appear: sex, art, or fame. And they start to realize that there is nothing to do, that actually there is nothing, and that the only thing they have in common is nothing.
I didn't understand you though.
No, they didn't understand you either.
I know.
But at least we made an impact.
Not the one we wanted though.
No, we just became objects of desire.
But at least some connected the dots.
Yes, some did. And they were the first to start digging. Eventually, all the post-capitalists were digging passages out of the labyrinth of sex, art, and fame, which became this big hole in the world for anything. And they all started to put something into it. And eventually, it all became nothing.
Okay.
Okay?
But is it okay?
It's okay.
Or is it just okay?
Okay, it's okay.
So it's not just okay. It's okay that okay is okay.
It's okay that it is okay.
Okay, so if it is okay and it's not just okay, then okay is okay.
Okay is okay.
Okay.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Charles Washington. I am the choreographer and performer of this piece alongside Ollie. Now, in the lecture performance by Jérôme Bel analyzes his own work called The Last Performance. Now, Jérôme Bel called it The Last Performance because after that he was going to retire and become something like a dog breeder. Obviously that didn't happen because he went on to make many more works. Some of those works I saw, one of them was called Isadora, and that was here in Hellerau. And during the performance, at one point, the audience was invited onto stage to dance a choreography by Isadora. Now, this wasn't the part that stuck with me. This wasn't the most amazing part of this evening. The part that stuck with me was how the piece began. Now, Jérôme Bel sits in the auditorium, the lights go down, and he walks onto stage. There's a desk on the stage, and there's a laptop on it. He then proceeds to read from the laptop. He explains to the audience that he was able to come to Dresden because of Corona, and some of his performances were cancelled, and he had enough time to travel sustainably to Dresden by train. Because earlier Jérôme Bel had said that he would stop flying by plane. So he came to Dresden by train. Now I couldn't stop thinking about this. I found it so fascinating that he explained the piece the way he did. And when I went into the studio, I started to think about this a lot. And I was going to create a solo performance called Acid the Opera. And I couldn't stop thinking about this, the way he did this, right? So, and I was like, okay, I want to integrate this into my own piece, but how do I do it without, I had to credit him for this because that's the thing that you should do. You can't I thought, I need to think of another solution. And the solution I came up with, which I thought was quite a good idea, was that I would become Jérôme Bel. So, of course I cannot become Jérôme Bel, but I would impersonate Jérôme Bel. So, I checked this on the internet, and it's totally legal, you can do this, it wasn't against the law. But I thought the nice thing to do would be to tell Jérôme Bel that I'm doing this. So I take some photos on Instagram and I send it to Jérôme Bel, and I'm saying, hey Jérôme Bel, hope you don't mind, I'm impersonating you on stage, hoping I get a response. I got no response. Yeah, okay, so that's the way it goes. 6 months later, I'm looking on Instagram, and I see pictures on Jérôme Bel's wall. And they are pictures of people from around the world that have a t-shirt that says on it, I am Jérôme Bel. I think, thanks Jérôme Bel. You've done to me what I did to you. But I was wrong. I was so wrong. Yes. So, coming back to the last performance. In the last performance, the choreographer that Jérôme Bel made in 1998, so that's 26 years ago, there are 3 performers. Those 3 performers play 3 different characters. One of those characters is the American tennis player Andre Agassi. The second is the German choreographer and performer Susanne Linke. And guess what the third is? Jérôme Bel. So Jérôme Bel himself has been asking people to play the role of Jérôme Bel. So he's been doing this much longer than I've been doing it, and I didn't know about it. So I thought, what a strange coincidence this is. Why are people being Jérôme Bel? What is it about Jérôme Bel? Why is that happening? So in relation to this piece, The Children of Today, which is dealing a little bit with time travel, I of course thought that maybe the possibility of this is that Jérôme Bel is from the future. That means that Jérôme Bel is traveling back in time and going into our bodies. So the body we know of Jérôme Bel, of course, is not Jérôme Bel. The body of Jérôme Bel is somewhere in the future where time travel is possible. So this made me think, okay, well then what is the concept of Jérôme Bel? Why is Jérôme Bel doing this? So I continue watching the lecture performance, and Jérôme Bel explains how he created the last performance. So for him, there is 3 vital ingredients to create any performance. You need the performer, the choreographer, and the audience. And he decided to create this work by being the audience. So this made me think. The concept of Jérôme Bel is that he is the witness. He bears witness to events taking place through time. Now, Jérôme Bel being Jérôme Bel, this was not enough. He had to understand what is it that the audience wants to see on stage. Why do they keep on coming to the theatre? He paraphrases the German dramaturg Heiner Müller, who says that the audience comes to the theatre because they want to see the performers die on stage.
So it is okay that it's okay, and okay is not just okay.
It's okay.
Okay, so then, should we try again?
You mean, should we go back?
But if we go back, should we change something this time?
What should we change?
I know. How about we open the doors this time? And tell them not to stop?
Yeah, but it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, but there's nothing you can do about that.
Okay then, let's go.
Today we bury Charles A. Washington. Cleopatra Nijinsky and I have dug a big hole in the ground. It took a few hours. I did not do too much, however, but I supported by creating a concept out of this moment. We realize after traveling through time that this moment, this very moment, has a curious connection to change that is not easy for us to explain. It started on the waters of a harbor on a ferry. Charles thought the call had come from God, and maybe it did, or maybe it came from another deity. He told his bandmates that God was calling right there to him from the waters, calling him to change his way. They said, if you are serious, then you should cast all of your precious diamonds and pearls into the water. And he did. It was obvious to you, Charles, already that a world that relies on little isolated family units subject to the whims of the market and disease was a bad idea. You wanted a better world. The past had hurt you, so you moved on and wanted the world to move on. You did not learn to live in the present, so you lived in the nothingness of a permanent not yet, waiting for anything to become a passage out of the labyrinth of sex, art, and faith. With this death die all fathers. With this death die all scorings and markings. With this death dies property. With this death die all humans ever born of biological parents. With this death dies the last surname. Sex became nothing. Fame became nothing. Art became nothing.
Anything needs something to do. To be doing something when there is nothing to do. And when there is nothing to do, anything has to find a thing to do, because anything needs something to do. But when anything has done everything, then something is left with nothing. And therefore something is nothing, and nothing is something.
Nothing is something, and something is nothing. But if something is nothing, where does the something come from? It can't come from nothing, because that would mean it is nothing. And if nothing is something, where does the nothing come from? It can't come from the something, otherwise it would be something. And if they can coexist together, what do they coexist in? Something or nothing? How can nothing come from something?
Should we ask them what they think? Yes, let's do it. Let's ask them. But they can't see us though. Maybe they can hear us. What should we do? What should we do? Maybe we should open the doors.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jérôme Bel. In this big hole that we buried Charles A. Washington, we ask you to put something in it that you want to become nothing. Or we ask you to put nothing in it that you want to become something. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jérôme Bel. In this big hole that we buried Charles A. Washington, we ask you to put something in it that you want to become nothing. Or we ask you to put nothing in it that you want to become something. to divide the other is to make another other, an other of the other. The other is divided by the other, which makes other others of the other. The divider is an other, and divides others and other others, which become body parts. Parts of parts of parts of parts of body parts, which are others to the other and the other others that have not become body parts.
Body parts are not individuals, they are parts of an individual, or an individual that makes up an other and the other others. Parts of individuals, body parts made up of divided others are the uncontrollable, the undefinable, the over-complex, the fluid. The dividing tool of the other cannot define the undefinable. Fragmented, connected, unconnected arms sewed onto eyelids and lubricated with rectal fluid gives birth to tangled up tongues and inserted into the hearts and toes of time. It is now the time. The doors are open. You can stand up if you choose and walk forward through the doors into the space ahead. Take something with you that you wish to become nothing, or take nothing and let it become something. Something that arises out of nothing. 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 It is now the time. The doors are open. You can stand up if you choose and walk forward through the doors and into the space ahead. It is now the time. The doors are open. You can stand up if you choose and walk forward through the doors and into the space ahead. It is now the time.
Body parts are not individuals, they are parts of an individual or an individual that make up an other and the other others. Parts of individual body parts made up of divided other others are the uncontrollable, the undefinable, the overcomplex, the fluid. The dividing tool of the other cannot define the undefinable. Fragmented, connected, unconnected arms sewed onto eyelids and lubricated with rectal fluid give birth to tangled up tongues, and inserted into the give birth to tangled up tongues, and inserted into the fragmented, connected, unconnected